Successful people often do what others avoid. We are all guided by our habits, some of which can negatively impact our health or personal lives, while others directly affect our finances. Many times, people don't realize that certain harmful financial habits are constantly keeping them away from success. I believe it's possible to eliminate these bad habits and replace them with healthier practices. That's the only way to increase your chances of thriving financially. If you want to know more, keep watching this video. This is your go-to channel for financial topics and wealth mindset. Click the subscribe button now and join the group of future multimillionaires. I live a fairly simple life. I still live in the same house I bought in 1957 for $25,000. I prefer common transportation to private jets, and instead of billiards I play bridge. This curious combination of great wealth and modest lifestyle sparks the interest of many people. I've followed my own path, undisturbed, even in the early hours of the morning. Additionally, I've always had a passion for reading. My aunt gave me a world almanac which I still keep to this day, and it was when I read my first book about investing. In my father's office, I still maintain the habit of dedicating between 5 to 6 hours a day to reading, even with the business downturn in the second half of the 20th century. I also closely monitor market trends and willingly share valuable tips to help people achieve wealth. When it comes to making money, timing is essential. You don't need to be a genius, just be patient. I want to highlight the financial habits I apply in my day-to-day life. A healthy habit can easily become the foundation of your wealth, even if your bank account is empty right now. Habit number 1, spend wisely. It may seem simple, but statistics show that over 65% of people don't know how to manage their money well. I always say that people tend to plan how to spend money they haven't earned yet. In these cases, I suggest evaluating your future purchases not in terms of monetary value, but in how many hours of work are needed to buy what you want. Ask yourself how many hours a month you work and how much you earn. Calculate the value of an hour's work and compare it with the price of the item you want to buy. If you earn $10,000 a month but are thinking of buying a Tesla for $300,000, ask yourself if it's really worth it before you start saving for it. It's crucial to understand that I always encourage people to plan all their earnings and expenses, regardless of the amount. The problem with $1 million is that, because it's a large sum, you need to keep track of its use or it will disappear quickly without you realizing where it went. The second habit is making your money work for you. Instead of keeping your extra money in a piggy bank, it's crucial to understand how the investment mechanism works. If you only save, your savings will lose value over time as inflation erodes purchasing power. To avoid this, at the very least, the money should be placed in a savings account that offers interest above the inflation rate. However, this alone isn't enough to generate wealth. You need to invest. Investing requires exploring different options and learning how to minimize risks. Saving money is not the same as investing. So, start learning how the investment system works today. Set aside time to better understand this process and regularly learn the fundamentals of investing. You can start by dedicating some time every day to it. Instead of spending the early hours of your day scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, set aside 10 to 20 minutes for useful reading and analyze the stock market daily. It's interesting that major US tech companies like Facebook and Google have an annual return of 30% on their stocks. So, social media can be not just a source of distraction but also of valuable learning. Before continuing, I'd like to ask you to support this video with a like, as your interaction can help more people access this financial information. The third habit is working in unconventional conditions. While this advice might seem unusual coming from me, someone who often evaluates global markets from a McDonald's rather than my office, I've always associated money with big problems that need creative solutions. For that, it's essential to see things from a different angle. An interesting example is the story of Albert Einstein. In 1905, he published 4 papers that revolutionized modern physics and our understanding of space, time, and matter. Interestingly, he didn't write those papers in a lab or his office, but in a patent office in Switzerland. Working in that environment allowed him to escape conventional lab methods. If you consume the same information as everyone else, you'll end up thinking like everyone else. And if you think like everyone else, it's unlikely you'll bring anything new or original. Be curious, explore unconventional sources, study what few have studied. This will be highly valuable. I'm known for my simple yet profound financial wisdom, and I firmly believe that people often spend their money on completely unnecessary things, blocking their path to success. To correct these common financial mistakes, you can make significant changes and thrive. First of all, many who face financial difficulties often neglect personal development. I believe that the best investment you can make is in yourself. Enhancing your skills and obtaining quality education can drastically increase your income. While many seek out experts, they often don't have time to educate themselves. They want to find someone who already has the necessary knowledge and they're willing to pay well for it. If you want to be independent, competence in business and processes is essential. When building your own business, your knowledge and skills will be valuable assets that no one can take away from you. Seek to acquire as much knowledge as possible. The second common mistake people with fewer resources make is the improper use of credit cards. While they can be convenient, especially when you want to buy something without immediate funds, the high interest rates can quickly outweigh any benefit, especially if you don't pay off your debts on time. Sit down and calculate how much you spend annually on credit card interest. I recommend cutting that expense as soon as possible. This will prevent you from spending more than you earn and allow you to save a significant amount, which can be directed toward your education, for example. Going to bars and restaurants is another problematic habit. If you're determined to become wealthy, you should avoid this kind of luxury, especially in the early stages of your financial journey. As humans, socializing and having fun are essential for our emotional well-being. However, your financial health can improve considerably if you know how to give up certain luxuries. One example is unused gym memberships, a common expense among people with financial difficulties. Did you know that, statistically, 80% of people who buy a membership end up quitting the gym? Often, gym chains offer annual or semi-annual packages at attractive prices, but most people stop going before taking advantage of this discount. Although it might seem like you saved money by purchasing a cheap membership, the truth is you ended up losing if you didn't use it. I encourage an active lifestyle, but I recommend caution with this type of expense. If you're one of those people who bought a membership and stopped going, try working out at home or outdoors for free, or choose a monthly membership that motivates you to go to the gym that month. Another common financial mistake is the uncontrolled use of subscription services. Check and regularly monitor what services you're subscribed to. Often, services that seem cheap require your credit card details, and when the free trial ends, you're charged without realizing it. Cancel automatic renewals and set reminders to ensure you don't get charged again. These financial mistakes are the reason many people fail. Pay close attention to them. And before continuing, leave a like on this video if you're seeking financial success. This could be the first step on a journey of achievements, but the most important thing is to follow the right path to wealth. One of the big mistakes is gambling because while it might seem like a quick way to increase your income, the odds of success in gambling are low. It's crucial to understand this. I encourage people to make financial decisions that benefit their lives in the long term, rather than focusing on get-rich-quick solutions. Many have harmed themselves by following this path. Knowing when to stop while you're ahead is essential, and this can be a lesson that applies to various situations. Another important point is smoking. If you calculate the costs over time, you'll see that you could be losing thousands of dollars. I'm known as one of the greatest investors of all time, which means I've learned how to multiply my capital effectively. In addition to providing practical financial advice, I believe certain human qualities need to be developed by those who truly want to achieve wealth. Once, while talking to students, I mentioned the importance of saving part of each paycheck and using tools that show how you're spending your money in different categories. There's one rule I follow faithfully: never lose money. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. While it may seem obvious, avoiding losses is wise and practical advice. The secret to success is minimizing risks whenever possible. Never risk what you need for something you want. I follow this rule and have never made risky investments. The difference between successful people and those who truly achieve great success is that the latter know how to say no to most opportunities. Another piece of advice I give is to always keep a cash reserve. My company, for example, usually has about $20 billion available at any given time. This may seem contrary to the common principle of investing all capital, but it ensures we're ready to seize good opportunities when they arise. Saving money under the mattress might seem old-fashioned, but that's exactly what saved me during the 2008 crisis. For a company, money is like oxygen for the body. You don't think about it when you have plenty, but it becomes your main concern when it's scarce. In times of crisis, cash, like dollars, is often more reliable than checks. This rule is especially relevant for those with an unstable income. Unnecessary debts, like credit cards, term loans, and mortgages, can pile up to the point where payments exceed your expenses and leave you without resources. I've seen many people fail because of alcohol, but I've also known several who went broke due to an uncontrollable desire for consumption. If you're wise, you can make money without relying on credit. Always pay attention to the small expenses. They make a big difference. I trust frugal people, and I learned an interesting lesson during a trip to China. My friend Bill Gates and I went to McDonald's, and when I insisted on paying the bill, I surprised everyone by using discount coupons I brought from the United States. Small savings can add up over time. Instead of thinking in terms of a month, think in terms of a decade. A common mistake people make is trying to maximize the present moment, but financial success doesn't come from quick profits. Successful investing requires time, discipline, and patience. No matter how hard you work or how talented you are, some things simply take time. As they say, you can't have a baby in a month by getting 9 women pregnant. Think long-term, gradually building resources for your children's education or your retirement. Read everything you can about finance and go to bed every night a little smarter than when you woke up. Much of my work as an investor is focused on minimizing risks and cutting costs. For most people, the real financial risk comes when they don't know what they're doing. The more you learn about money and its rules, the greater your ability to manage it efficiently and get the most out of it, regardless of how much you have. While money is important, it's not everything. Some material things have improved my life, but in excess they can have the opposite effect. For example, I wouldn't give up a private jet, but having multiple houses would be more of a burden than an advantage. I believe that, often, possessions start to control their owners. Therefore, it's crucial to remember other equally important values like health. Without it, success becomes impossible. The same applies to friends. I consider my friends the second most important thing after health. Be bold in your decisions. In 1951, still under 20 years old, I took a train to Washington, D.C., and knocked on the door of Geico's headquarters, where Benjamin Graham, my future mentor, worked. My audacious initiative led to a 4-hour conversation with Graham about the insurance industry. He became a consultant for Geico, and I maintained a relationship with the company for many years. Today, Berkshire Hathaway, my company, owns Geico, and Berkshire's insurance businesses are what I call one of the crown jewels of the company. If I hadn't taken the initiative to show up at Geico that day, more than 70 years ago, none of this would have happened. Courage brings rewards. Make difficult decisions early on, as they can define your entire future. Berkshire Hathaway's early businesses were focused on textile mills, which I supported for many years. However, in 1985 I decided to sell them as the industry was no longer profitable. It was a tough decision, but essential to ensure the company's future success. This applies to personal decisions too. Sometimes, it's more beneficial to forego expensive vacations to invest in a retirement fund. The path to financial success is built with careful planning. Unlike most people who don't plan, those who achieve success take the time to do so. Every night before bed, write a list of the most important tasks you need to accomplish the next day to get closer to your goals. Review what you did throughout the day, learn from it, and adjust your course as needed. With a plan already in place, your mind and your actions will align to ensure steady progress. If you follow this habit, success will be inevitable. This is your go-to channel for finance and wealth mindset. Subscribe now and start your journey to prosperity.